heart to learning, open up my heart to love. Help me to know myself and how I should learn. I open up to learning, I open up to joy. Help me to learn a language and let it be my happiness.
Hello everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today we're going to look at a news story which has been making its way into the national news since Easter time. And that is that a number of travelers' sites, unauthorized travelers' sites, have appeared across the south of England. Now, in the past, travellers were generally known as gypsies, Irish gypsies. Some people refer to them as Romany gypsies, but now it includes everyone who travels. There are a number of caravans appearing in different places, and that's leading to discomfort in some areas, as well as legal disputes. Historically, traveling people, Irish gypsies and gypsies of other kinds, have faced a lot of problems in trying to find places to live. Let's look at the headlines and see what the story says. Right, here we are. Unauthorized traveller sites trigger legal challenges by councils. That's our local government areas. This is from Sky News, and we're going to read. It says, councils launched legal action after sites in Surrey, Kent and Hertfordshire were occupied by travellers over the Easter weekend. And there's a video clip there of the travellers with their vehicles and the caravans. Now, historically, they would have been Irish travellers, or as we call them, Irish gypsies. This article referring to them as travellers for the sake of political correctness, because we don't obviously know at this moment who they are. Right, it says here the unauthorised arrival of travellers at multiple sites across southern England over the Easter period has triggered legal challenges. But with locals up in arms, that just means upset, resolving the disputes is a complex process. At one of the locations, a 4-acre site at Alfold in Surrey, an interim injunction, that's a court process, a legal process, has been issued following an emergency application to the High Court. It orders the travellers not to further develop their camp pending another court hearing in a few weeks. And it goes on to talk about how difficult this is. Now here, further down, if I can just move down quickly, it says fundamentally this is a planning issue, as the travellers say they own the land, but they didn't have planning permission to set up their new community. Now this has been an ongoing story for quite some time. There has been a number of communities who buy land, but they don't ask for the correct permission to live on it. And as a result, these things develop. Here's another place, I think. Yeah, this one is the Surrey one. You can see there they've started to appear. It was also claimed that the so-called stop notices issued by the council and the legal process was secured were ignored. And nobody knows for sure when the travellers bought the land, but we think it was sold by a property developer in the last few weeks. So there's a bit of confusion here. There's also confusion as to who they actually are. I mean, I'm assuming when these stories come out, usually they are Irish gypsies. A little bit different from the Romany gypsies, but you could say they're cousins. let's see, technically now, if the travelers continue, that could be criminal. In theory, they could be fined or arrested. But this is not uncommon. This has happened many times before, and they are a minority group, which means that they are protected under the law. But if they are living on illegal ground, they will, of course, be asked to move. Let's see what else it says. Other sites in Kent and Hertfordshire were also occupied over the Easter weekend. And here it says councils in England have a statutory responsibility to assess the accommodation necessary for gypsies and travellers and identify land for sites to meet their needs, aiming to reduce unauthorized developments. Yes, so in some countries, gypsies live in apartment blocks or some particular areas. Here in the UK, Irish gypsies, they always are moving. They travel around in caravans, and you could open your curtains one morning and find them in your road just sitting there, and it's always very upsetting for people when they find them. I'm not quite sure why, but I'm guessing it's because of some kind of antisocial behavior. But in this case, they are actually on what could be illegal ground. A spokesperson for the police, this is Surrey Police, said, "We are aware of a large number of vehicles and people on a site on Lockswood Road in Alford. We have visited the area along with Waverley Borough Council to engage with those at the site as well as local residents. No criminal offences have been identified by police. The development of the site is a planning permission issue, which is being led by Waverley Borough Council." And this is where it gets complex, because if they do own the land, you can't just evict them in the same way as you can't evict someone from your home if you find them living there. It's very complex. However, that's a big story making headline news. And it seems to me that gypsies and travelers always seem to get into trouble for various reasons around the UK. It's such a pity. As a minority group, of course, they are protected, but that also makes them vulnerable for those who don't want them there. And that's it from me. So I hope you've enjoyed this story. Do come back next time. And that's it from me. See you. Bye.